Hey world, it's Tobo. It is June the 27th of 2014, and welcome back to the party with the Friendship Cast on the Friday, because the Tuesday failed horribly. Because internet.
Internet, the cause of and solution to all of life's problems.
Indeed. That is an amazingly paradoxical sentence.
Well, I stole it from The Simpsons, where it's usually about alcohol, but it kind of applies here too. It's something that we all really can't do without. We're all sort of addicted. We probably use it more than we should, but it's wonderful.
Yeah.
So what are you supposed to do? We're at the mercy of the internet.
Pretty much. So, a few things I'd like to say before we get started. Number one is SGDQ is going on literally now. I believe they're running Super Mario Bros. 3 at the moment. They're going to do a Sunshine Race afterwards, so that's going to be a ton of fun. The other thing is tomorrow morning I get my hair cut.
Oh no! When's the last time this happened?
I don't remember.
You should auction it off or something.
But,
I'm sure you'd get a few bidders.
That'd be ridiculous.
Well, you know, I think I mentioned this off the air a couple times. Twice in my life, I've had hair about as long as yours. Usually out of laziness, and then after that, sort of just general cultural inertia. And I know it's a little scary, probably, but it is also a huge relief. First of all, it's literally a weight off. Like, your head feels lighter. It's stupid, but it's true. And just the idea of just showering takes, like, instead of the normal time, where it probably takes you now about 4.5 hours to wash your hair, it goes down to, like, 20 seconds. Like, it's just one thing of shampoo, a little bit of water, and you're done. It's amazing how much more you can get done with your day. So long hair can be great, and some of the ladies really, really like it, but it is a huge pain in the butt, so I'm sure you'll be enjoying at least that part of it. Being done
Indeed,
with
as much as I like the long hair, the whole reason I'm getting it cut off is it's just like I've had it for a while now, and I'm just getting tired of everything that goes into this.
I know, and the scrunchy budget alone, man. Oh, that stuff adds up. Elastic just doesn't last. It shouldn't have the word in it.
Yeah.
It's terrible. No good.
And I wind up tying it back a lot because of the breakdancing. So
the breakdancing.
Breakdancing.
I think you might have mentioned this once before.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta say, it does feel more like a breakdancey hairstyle, and you can do a little head thrashing with it. It lets you do a few cool things that you probably couldn't do otherwise. But yeah, that sounds like a pain in the butt. I mean, there's a reason that everyone in the military shaves their head, right? If you're doing
actually,
physical exertion, you can't get in the way.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. You always have to keep it back when you're breakdancing, because if you let it loose, when you're doing all the floor work, everything just looks messy.
Yeah, and plus you don't want to literally whip yourself in the face with your head. That doesn't seem like a good idea.
I've never done that, actually.
You never done that? Okay.
I've never done that.
But, you know, hang in there. It's not going to be as bad as you think. I can't remember. I don't know how long it's been since you've had short hair, but I think you'll be glad when it's over.
Yeah, I think so, too. That's why I'm doing it.
I'm going to be shocked. You got to warn us. You have to be like, when your disembodied voice before the cast comes up, you need to be like, okay, everybody, here it comes. Don't scream. You know me. You know, like, like if you're shipwrecked and you meet your wife again 5 years later, like, don't scream. It's me. Say something that only you would know, so we know it's you.
Yeah. Either that, or like just flash the face cam during the countdown and watch the reactions roll into the chat.
Just boom. Just do it, yeah, or just mess with us. One or the other. Either completely mess with us or reassure us and ease us into it, because this is going to be borderline traumatic.
Yeah. Don't worry, I'm going to ease them into it.
Okay, cool. I appreciate the warning, too, by the way. Just, you know.
Yeah.
Is this tomorrow, you said?
This is tomorrow.
Oh, man. Like T-minus 24 hours. Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
I was planning on telling you guys on Tuesday, but then Tuesday happened.
That's okay. I think I'm in the right mental state for this. Don't worry. We're good.
Oh,
okay.
man. We're going to cast some Spy Party. This is supposed to be a fantastic set right off the ladder. The most recent week of the ladder, actually, that didn't get cast. And I'm not entirely sure why it didn't get cast.
A lot of good matches these days.
That's true. There are.
Someone's going to get left behind every week now because we have so many good matches every week.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I beat Magician, and I was shocked when I beat Magician. I thought I was going to get bodied.
Hats off. Excellent win. He is no slouch. I've often said that, you know, people are in different game ranges. I wouldn't make a big fuss of it if it were, someone who had maybe 2,000 games. But you have about 1,000, and he's got about 2,700, and that
Yeah.
is outside of a normal range. Where
Yeah.
players can easily be expected to be as good. That's all. That's almost 3 times as many games. He plays regularly. You played a lot. You might played a little more recently since you started again.
Yeah.
But
A little
that
more
is
recently.
a clear upset, and that means you played really well. So congratulations.
Yay!
Good
But
win.
yeah, we're going to be casting Monaters versus the National, which again is supposed to be a fantastic set. I've lost to both of these gentlemen.
Well, and these two, by the way, definitely better than their game counts as well.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, Monaters is my teammate in the Pro-Am tournament. We've been practicing a lot lately, and boy, it's these whippersnappers. They get good so fast these days. These kids, it's ridiculous. They'll have 500 or 600 games, and it's basically the equivalent of what 1,200 or 1,500 was back in my day. So, it's with the streams and the whatnot and all that, and
And the replays.
and candy bars were a nickel, and yeah. But it's basically they really get good really fast now,
Yeah.
and these players are both great examples of that.
Yeah. And you're actually playing your first Pro-Am game on Tuesday, you said?
That's very tentative, but probably. We've been trying to
Okay.
figure it out for about a couple weeks now. That'll be myself and Monaters, Warnatters, we're calling ourselves with an @ sign because branding, versus Checker and Drawn Onward. And just 8 quick games. I'm not even sure what combination of us are streaming, but we'll definitely put those games out there afterwards either way.
Yeah, that's going to be cool.
Looking forward to this. It's a fun idea for a tournament. We've wanted to do it for a while, and we're finally doing it. So, great stuff.
Indeed. There was something I wanted to say, but I can't remember what it was, so let's cast some Spy Party.
If it's important, it'll come back to you.
I don't think it was important.
It was probably about your hair.
No, it wasn't. It was
No?
just
Okay.
something you said made me want to go off on a tangent. Oh yeah, I remember now.
I knew saying that would get you back on track. Go ahead. Go for it. Why not?
It was basically the Spy Party. The community is so weird, just in how much, not only how much information we share, but how much we enjoy sharing information and strategizing with each other rather than against each other.
I agree.
It's just-
No, you're right. People don't. Well, one of the reasons because it's in beta, that's actually helped.
That's
right?
true.
We need to exploit every flaw in the game so that Checker can balance it accordingly.
Yeah.
I remember when a long time ago, I was one of the people KCM was testing the Twitch flirting on when he basically invented it. I remember looking at the log and seeing the in and out of conversation thing, and I'm like, I think I know what he's trying to do. And at the time, he didn't want to tell me what it was yet. And I remember. But here's the thing: what's interesting, and what goes to what you're saying, is that I was shocked. I was like, it was the first time I'd ever run into anyone not immediately tell me what they were doing and why. Because the community's so open. In that case, he had a reason, but that just goes to show that how rare it is that anything like that ever happens. Because everyone cannot wait to tell you what they're doing and why it worked and how to combat it. We're all sharing information, and that's what makes it great.
Which is the exact opposite of like every other high-level esport like thing in existence.
Yeah, and it might be a little different once the full game comes out. We'll see, but I think
You never know.
I think it'll always be more open than most games, just because
I think so.
It's so cerebral, and we all want that satisfaction.
Yeah. Also, it's just that kind of community right now, and the hope is, when eventually the game releases and it comes out on Steam, and we get the big flood of players, that we can keep the community going in the same direction it is now.
Yeah, and we'll have to have a lot of patience while 5,000 people simultaneously ask us how the hell the microfilm works. Because that is going to happen, let me tell you.
By that point, we'll have tutorials.
Yeah, probably. Sure.
Remember, this is release we're talking about.
Yeah, okay.
Anyways.
We'll see.
So in this set, I believe, the Nationals and Monaters were 2 spots removed, and Monaters substituted out Panopticon for Courtyard 2, and Ballroom for more balcony.
Yeah, so there's a lot of balcony in this.
Lots of balcony, lots of courtyard.
Interesting.
So, that's going to be a thing. Want to get started? We're 10 minutes in.
Yeah, maybe we should... I'll try
I don't know
to...
how this is like every time we cast together, we just talk about things.
I know, hair, pants, also anything but Spy Party for the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That's okay. I'll try to keep it down to a minimum the rest of the time so we can get through these.
We're probably not going to get through all of it, but we'll
Sad face.
take a crack at it, starting off with the National on the Spy, Monaters on the Sniper on Balcony, any 2 of 3 in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
You have a lot of balcony games. That'll help.
Yeah. And still no fingerprint going on this map.
This coming week, as in 2 or 3 days from now, the next round of ladder games, it will be legal to use fingerprint on this map only.
Yes, which is going to blow the balcony meta out of the water.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm happy or not, but I guess as someone who's not that great at balcony at high levels, any change is a good one, potentially.
Agree!
Lots of early lowlights. Wow.
Yeah, that was 3 early lowlights out of nowhere, and the 2 early highlights. Sorry, a few early highlights as well, and they were all accurate. And then the white test into the shot. Jeez.
Yeah, Monaters
What
is.
happened?
He is already. I played him a lot on balcony. He's already pretty deep into the advanced meta, and that definitely leads to some games that he'll give away, because that's what happens when you play the advanced meta at all. But it also means that he can get some really surprising, very strong early highlights and lowlights just based on talk order and things like that. A lot of assumptions built in, but they're pretty high percentage assumptions most of the time. So good stuff.
Wow, Monaters. That was massive win right there.
Yeah, yeah. And by the way, that's the kind of win that can trickle throughout the rest of the game. If you're the National, you're thinking, whoa, that's all it took? Although maybe you're thinking it was just the white BB. But either way, it can really rattle you.
Indeed. Let's get into the next one. Monaters on the Spy this time around. Nationals on the... What did I just say? Monaters on the Spy, the National on the Sniper. In 3, 2, 1, playing it. The National. That's ridiculous.
The Natters. Well, Natters kind of sounds like National. There's a little something there.
What? No.
Yeah. Okay, nothing is happening in this game yet.
Literally nothing is happening. There's our first flirt for 34%. The positioning is very odd, but that was actually Purple Dress's fault, not our fault.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to matter though. And speaking like any spy, it always feels like that happens too often, doesn't it? When you control the spy, even if you haven't taken control yet.
Indeed. That's buggable range though. So if he can get a little bit of cover there.
Oh, he had a really good spot when he first went into place because he was completely on the side. Great position.
There's the bug. The arm flash just a little bit, but it was very invisible. Looks like he got away with it. Fake banana bread coming off. That is so unfortunate. The DA left at the exact wrong moment.
Yeah,
and I
it was
think
a green
he's just going to try to finish the flirt now.
Yeah, it was a green. He would have won easily there. Would have been a very nice win. He hesitated on the bug and it almost cost him, but he found another good moment to do it. Purple by the window, a little bit of cover there. That was certainly helpful.
Oh, there's a shot coming out from the National, and Monaters with a huge start here.
We're starting to see why he put in balcony, I think.
Indeed. Wow. I've got some new hotkeys going on so I can mess with the scoreboard without using the mouse, which is good.
Oh.
But it means I'm hitting a lot of wrong hotkeys. So,
as they say, computers are always allowing us to make faster, more efficient mistakes.
yes! I like that. Alright, so Monaters out to a quick 2-0, stepping into the courtyard.
The courtyard. There is no other courtyard that I know of. No. This is the only map that has a courtyard in it. I'm telling you, I insist. There's no other courtyard maps. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's the same courtyard. They
No, there's nothing else. There's no variations on this. This I don't know why it's called 2. It's just a joke, I guess. It's
the same courtyard. They just airlift out the statue and put a new one in.
I don't think there ever was a courtyard one, to be honest with you. I think it's just like a myth. Ugh. I don't like
Spy Party open right now. I can literally show it on stream.
Oh, go play along. It's the worst map ever. Okay.
3, 2, 1, playing it.
Veery likes it because he's insane, but that's about it.
I liked it for a while too, just because it was really interesting with the statue placement. But then I got better at Spy Party.
Yeah, then it's no good anymore.
Yeah.
It's like, I used to believe in Santa Claus. Oh, spoiler alert, one.
This is a really weird positioning here.
Yeah, it really
we're
is.
not in a conversation we want to be in, and we stood there for a while.
Well, you remember we talked about being rattled maybe a little bit. And look at him slow play in the very next game, Spy.
That's true. 30 seconds though, and then coming out for the fake BB. This is actually really cool. Like, he's practically all in on the slow play now. This could be really, really interesting.
Did a stop talk on the fake, and I don't think it was actually prompted by any interruption, so I think he was trying to hide it, but it was very visible. But yeah, not a lot going on. Got a free flirt that came to him, basically, but that's about it.
I don't think he's going for missions. I really don't.
Yeah, either that or he's hoping to get a low light before he does.
Oh god, I didn't have casting mode up. I'm stupid. I fixed it, don't worry.
Well, you didn't miss anything. He's just sitting around. He's got 34% in the flirt and nothing else except a fake BB to his name.
Indeed. But yeah, I really think he's going all in on the slow play here.
But it looks like he's keeping his options open a little bit by trying to flirt. He did follow a seduction target. Maybe he's thinking, hey, if I get a really obvious low light and the laser comes right over at me after something good, then I can rush a couple missions. You know, inspect, for example. You know, do the BB, seduce. Inspect swap on this map, the fact that you can do it all in one with 2 or 3 cycles, it really leaves you open to try to slow play and then rush at the end. You just slowly do the BB, slowly do the seduce, and then at the very end you can do 2 bang bang real quick. So you can slow play.
Keep in mind, he did do the fake banana bread off the top.
Yeah, very, very interesting. So it's really a question of whether or not he's trying to keep his options open, or if he's just like, why flirt at all if you're all in, right? There must be a little part of him that's trying to.
I like that movement, but he needs to hit a green here. Doesn't. Oh, he did, and it still wasn't close enough.
Position was just a little off. Yeah. That's
man. That looked so good. Damn it.
Yeah, it did.
I thought he hit that perfectly, but man, the slow play works out perfectly for him.
Yeah, even when I'm slow playing, even if I'm pretty sure I'm not going to do missions, I'll usually do a little flirting or a BB just to kind of keep my options open. You never know. You can squeeze some missions in at the end of the game if you really want to, especially like I said on this one 2 ago. So I think he was pretty dedicated to play it slow, but left his options open just a little bit. That 99% much kills it.
Yeah, I actually really like that decision because Monaters shot real fast on that balcony game. And this is just the National saying, slow down, man. Like, this is keeping Monaters honest.
Yeah, he might have looked at that game log and saw, wow, 3 lows in the first 20 seconds. Okay, I'll just chill out then.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. Like, honestly, I think that's brilliant because a lot of people just settle in and play their game and don't really adapt too quickly to what their opponents are doing.
Right.
But that was a fantastic move.
Yeah, that's especially true of players who are a little around this general game range, because really at this point, whoever plays their game the best is usually going to win. But when you get when you get closer and closer in skill, when you both top out at high levels, the difference in actual skill is much smaller. So it becomes more about mixing things up.
Unless you're KCM.
Unless you're KCM, no rules applied to him.
Or Veery. But we're going to step into the next one here. Monaters on the Spy, the Nationals on the Sniper in 3, 2, 1, playing.
Pretty aggressive last time. Let's see if he keeps it going, because it worked for him. He did win.
He did indeed. Now he's just letting AI go for a while there. That was a little over 10 seconds of AI control.
Yeah. 2 early statue visits, and we talk about this almost every week now, about how 2 or 3 early statue visits can ripple throughout the rest of the game.
Oh, yeah.
So, and there's a third. There's a third already. Wow, like he's going to have a lot of suspects if he doesn't cut down at some point.
This is going to, as innocuous as it seems, this is going to cause some fairly big problems for the National. Although I did see the National pick up a big low light there for some reason.
Yeah, so I'm not really clear on why, but that's huge because it was a statue visitor too. Those can be very aggressive, but it actually makes more sense to be more aggressive with the early statue highlights anyway, because you want to really knock those out. That's more valuable than knocking out a neutral light.
Indeed.
Red Tie gets highlight for a conversation entry though, so he's right back up.
There's 51% on the start on the flirt there.
Just playing it pretty slow, though.
Look at all these statue visits.
If he had knocked out Yellow Jacket, he'd be in real bad shape. That could really add up.
Yeah.
There goes the white purloin.
That's scary as heck, but the National just wasn't looking at it, and this is going to... Oh! Yeah. Never mind.
I think he wasn't sure on the fade, but he knew he'd just taken a drink, so he sees the gulp and that's it. Yeah, I think Monaters played it fine. I think that's what you normally want to do with a white. You want to usually want to get out of there and gulp most of the time, especially against someone in this general range. But he was on it.
Yeah, and the National played a very, very solid sniper game there.
Yeah, and tied it right back up with those two.
It's 2-2, going into another 2 games on the Courtyard 2 with the National on the Spiral and Monaters on the Sniper in 3, 2, 1.
Let's see if he plays it a little more aggressive this time. You can learn either lesson. You could say, well, now I've got to mix it up the other way, or you could say it worked once, try it again.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here. Starting things off on the Seduction. Did he leave or was that a red test? I missed it.
He left, I believe, and by the way, quick leave from the window too, but not noticed in the early going.
That was the oddest banana split I've ever seen. He split right into a wall, but he wasn't noticed.
Yeah. Oh,
so
you can banana split on Courtyard 2 as long as they're on the opposite side of that statue like that. It can work really well sometimes, but he does not get fooled into the low light.
You generally do not want to go right into the wall, but it worked.
Generally, without knowing the context of any given situation, I would not advise people to run into a wall. But I'm not saying there aren't a few scenarios under which it might make some sense, and this apparently is one of them.
34% coming in the flirt because I can't think of anything to say to that. Into the mind of the caster. Nice innocuous drink grab with no pro one. That's the kind of thing that I feel like snipers don't pay enough attention to. And I'm going to drop some big spoilers here. I'm actually highly considering going absolutely ridiculous lowlights mode in my next ladder game. Even as far as, say, anyone who goes to statues in the second 30 seconds of the game gets low lit or something like that.
Right, after they could have taken control but clearly still decide to. Or a lot of people, if they take a drink within the first 40 seconds without purloining, or things like that.
Stuff like that.
It's risky, but it is like an 80% move. You know, it's usually going to be the case, so it really depends on who you're playing. But yeah, no, you're right. I think good spies want to be in the habit of every now and then taking a drink. You need to throw him off just a bit, and boy, he's slow playing again. It's pretty clear now.
I almost did it against Magician because I didn't think I had much of a chance in that game, but I looked up some of his replays, and he was doing all that AI stuff.
Ooh, yellow danger with a weird spasm leave there. You don't see that from AIs often, but
that's true.
It does happen. Monaters.
30 seconds left to play here.
Monaters obviously really paranoid, not just about the purloin, but specifically about the fade. Maybe he's worried about the difference between green and white, which has changed recently. He's been doing the drawn zoom on it.
He really has been. Although the National isn't getting as much as he does.
No. And I don't think Monaters is about to shoot. It doesn't look like
I don't think he is.
Could be a time ad.
I don't think it's gonna be. We'll see though. If he goes for it, he absolutely needs a green. There it is. There's the green. Oh man, what a move! I love that move. It's all in on the green test, but God, I love that move.
It's got the only other person I've seen do that regularly is Slappy Davis, who actually did it in some of our games very recently. For those who don't follow, if you green test right near as the time is running out, it obviously can't take 45 seconds to tick off 1 second. That would be ridiculous. So instead, it just kind of hangs out at 0 for a long time. It looks like a pending. It looks like what happens when someone does a green purloin or a green swap and it hasn't gone off yet. So obviously, Monaters is thinking, well, okay, it's the guy who was just at statues late, who already had a highlight for me and everything. And of course, the thing is, he doesn't have to shoot there. You can still wait for the overtime. The overtime still has to happen. I know it's a little tricky because you're so tense in those last seconds, but he still could have waited for overtime, which wouldn't have come.
Yeah. And here's the thing.
It's a little jumpy there, yeah.
I played, I think it was a ladder set against the National, where I just for fun had subbed in Known 7 Veranda. And I I had narrowed the suspects down a lot from the swap, and I was staring at the list, and the clock was ticking down, and the list wasn't going anywhere, and I'm keeping track of it, and the clock hits 0-0 and stays there.
Yep.
And eventually, like, I won the game, but eventually I looked back at the log, he hit 10 green time ads. He hit 10.
That's absurd. Yeah. Yeah, so it's I understand because in the moment you really want to shoot. I really get that. I've been there. I've shot when I didn't have to before. But it's hard to. You got to remember at some point that unless you're worried about them dancing for 10 seconds or losing track of who is at statues, you do not have to shoot that.
So unless you're up against Slappy Davis.
Even then, I don't even know if Slappy can dance for 10 seconds.
I've seen him do it. I've seen him do it on frickin' balcony.
That's true. That's true. But as long as it's on the sniper to remain calm in those situations. But it is a very unusual situation. I don't know how much of that was planned and how much of that was a desperate Hail Mary, but whatever it was, it works again.
Yeah.
At some point, though, this is not going to work for the National for long. The Monaters is going to catch on and go, okay, all right, I'm on to you, buddy. You're not anywhere near getting missions done. I'm going to make you get missions done at some point.
Indeed. But again, that could be what the National is going for here, because he knows at this point that Monaters likes to shoot people.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, maybe. I mean, or either that, or he just has so far. You know, and that's what he's got to ask himself right now: is this something I can sustain? I think he should be glad it's worked a few times, but at some point, you have to be able, unless you're totally in the spot in the other guy's head, unless you're totally in the sniper's head, unless you can just meta the crap out of them, or they're really jumpy. At some point, they're going to get it together, and you have to be able to threaten the mission win. You have to threaten.
Yeah.
If you can't threaten the mission win, eventually, your time's going to run out.
Indeed. So here we go. Stepping into the National on the... Monaters on the Spy this time around. With the National on the Sniper in the last Courtyard game for a bit. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Probably a very frustrating loss. It'd be interesting to see what happens because we know he probably played this a minute or two after that loss, and there's no sniper in the world who's not going to really kick themselves after a loss like that.
That's very true.
So let's see if he can recover, because you really gotta swallow that and just keep going. It's tough.
And he's on the spiral now, so if he could pick up the win here, that's going to be huge for him. But if not, he will have dropped 4 games in a row, and especially after that sniper loss, that's going to be very discouraging.
Yeah, and both of those sniper losses very winnable.
Indeed. Oh, frickin' seduction target. That was mean.
Yeah, not a whole lot happening yet. Last time he laid low for a while and then white purloined, and that was that. Didn't really do much.
That's true. We'll see how things go here. He's already blown a full minute and hasn't gotten anything done.
You know, we see this a lot in the ladder games. Everyone plays a little slower as Spy than they normally do. Everyone gets nervous, but that is especially true, I would say, around the 1,000 game range. It feels like it's very pronounced there, the nervousness and the fear of doing something that we all had in our first 100 games. It can come back with a vengeance.
Yeah, that's very true.
Wow, the National zoomed in on the Spy there without actually doing anything. I guess he might be on this purloin. When it goes off, it could get ugly.
Well, that is the green purloin. The banana bread comes off, and then the top right after. That's a slick move.
Yeah, and the purloin's taking a while,
so... here comes the purloin off a suspected double agent. That's very unfortunate. You should remember who took this.
Yeah, but it's been a while. There was a BB in between, and it was a long chain. He got highlight for the BB.
I don't think he knows. I don't think... There's the low light!
There it is.
What?
He doesn't think he could have done it, and he took a drink right around the same time. I guess that's a coincidence with the drink take, but... I think he's thinking, you know what? You know, he's probably thinking, and this is always an interesting choice, when you green purloin and you just hang around, and it goes off near you and you don't move, he's probably thinking, you know what? If that were him, he would have bailed.
Wow.
And that's usually true. You know, when you white purloin in particular, it's always an interesting choice, right? Do you book it, or do you sit around like, well, if I just purloined, I clearly would not just still be standing here, would I? And you have to make that decision in a split second. With the green, he hung out there for a long time and just kind of let it happen.
Wow, wow, wow. huge low light. He doesn't know, though. He thinks he's suspicious. There's the time ad coming off.
Yeah, he was getting
Because
low.
he knows he needs it.
Yeah, although it is a good question, you know. Sometimes people will do a time ad to test whether or not they have a low light, to see how suspicious they are, or at least to see if they have a highlight. Because if you have a highlight in the last 30 seconds and you do a time ad that's a white and you survive, there's a good chance that you're not actually a suspect.
That's true, but he needs to start getting his flirts done here. He has to... Oh, look at that.
Ooh,
Sit around
perfect.
for a moment.
Yep.
Now I think he's stepping the statue. Oh, god damn it, double agent.
Nope, blocked. That is rough. Yeah,
Well,
you
then
can't.
stepping the statues on the other side. You can't afford to
Wait.
take so much time here.
I agree. Maybe another time ad.
Here's the sip.
He's thinking about it.
Oh, and the shot comes off.
Yeah, there's that too. You know, that's one of the benefits of the time ad is people get suspicious. One of the AIs is bound to do a couple more AI-like things when they already have a highlight if you give another 45 seconds. So, you know, I don't know what would have happened. I really think actually he was all in line to win it if the double agent hadn't blocked him there at the statues. And
I completely agree.
He was right to wait. You want to come in the middle of their statue inspect so you have time to flirt, but can still complete your inspects in the normal number of cycles after they leave without it looking too suspicious. So he had to do it the way he did, but close one. Almost lost a good game there.
Indeed.
So clearly the right decision to hang around after the green. That's a risky thing, but I'm pretty sure that's what got him low lit.
Yep, I think so too. Yeah, so we're tied up at 3 after the Courtyard 2. We're stepping into Gallery. It's going to be the Nationals kicking off things on the spiral in 3, 2, 1. Playing it.
Very unusual spy play in the early going.
And the double agent is the mission that gets knocked off. Now, as much as I tend to agree with Kaylee about not knocking off that hardtail, I'm starting to warm up to it just because of how much double agent has screwed me over on this map.
Yeah, it's deceptive. The map doesn't feel large because it's long and thin. So you think it's not a big thing to chase them around, but it really is. They can really, because it's not actually the size though, it's the fact that there's 2 conversation circles, and they're both so far apart. So if they leave one, the odds that they're going anywhere else other than the other conversation circle, it's literally like a 1 in 10 chance if you just assume that pads are given equal weight, for example.
Yeah.
So if they're in one...
I don't think it's so much the distance between the CCs as just that. There's so many pads on this map.
Right.
And there are just 2 CCs.
Yeah, and if they bail on you, by definition, they're not going to go back to the same one. So at that point,
they do sometimes, and it's
sometimes.
Awesome when it happens, but.
Yeah, but usually not. So usually when they leave on you, you're in big trouble. Big trouble.
Indeed.
Flirting, on the other hand, you can do that at a painting, so it's not so bad.
Yeah. Picking up the blue book here. And brown dress makes it 3 at a bookcase.
Uh-oh, that'll draw attention.
And then the microfilm.
Yeah. Yeah. He'd already been at the other bookshelf and hadn't done anything. I guess he didn't like his timing there. Maybe the AI dumped him there, but I don't know. It's a really nice job, though, by the way, catching the green. Pretty hard to see a green test on Gallery. He's a little zoomed in. You pretty much can't see it without the zoom, but
yeah,
really nice catch.
That was a fantastic catch coming out of Monaters there, as he gives himself a little bit of breathing room as we finish up the Gallery here with him on the spy, the National on the sniper, in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, I'm really impressed by this. Obviously, there's definitely been some of the plays been a little rough around the edges, and the snipers should both be more patient. But the spy play, I think, is looking really sophisticated. I don't know if it would work against a very experienced player because, like I said, they're usually more patient. But whether it works or not, like I said, sophisticated, specific.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Here's
like,
what I'm going to say. I'm going to say the mechanics on the spy play aren't quite there yet, but the decision-making has been very solid.
Yeah, like for example, I might say it's a bad idea to slow play, but if they're at the point where they're thinking about that as a viable option and they understand how it works, that's big already. Whether or not it's the right decision in a given circumstance is sort of a different question entirely.
Nice NCC bug coming out of Monaters there. That was a nice play. Very opportunistic, brilliant stuff.
Yeah. For example, if a newer player BB's while a green purloin is pending to try to distract from it, that can be a good choice or a bad choice, but the fact that that is available to them, that they have that in their toolbox and understand that it might be valuable, that is high level. That whether or not you can use high level play in the wrong time. We all do sometimes, right? But they're thinking at a high level already with the mind games in the meta, and that is really really cool.
Here's a cool move. By the National, actually. I don't know what triggered it, but Monaters actually took a highlight as he stepped away from that conversation. And the pathing was fine. I don't know what it was. It must have been a behavioral thing. But he was able to get his seduce off at the bookcase and hopefully finish it up right here.
Yeah, let's hope so, because he definitely needs to get moving. Remember, he needs 2 statue visits if he wants to inspect.
There's that flirt. Minute and 40 left to play, 2 missions done, including a hardtail.
I would have been a little partial towards the idea of grabbing a book, coming out to seduce, and then going back with the book to the wrong bookshelf. Especially in the middle of the game when the books start to really get muddled. That's where a lot of people lose track of them on this map. But now he's got to do 2.
Keep in mind, there will be no inspect swap.
Right, no swap. He does have BB on, though, unlike the National.
He does.
A lot of people
and he has a chance to get it done. There are a lot of people in this conversation.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people out.
3 out front, but still, this is a fantastic time to go for it, and he does just that. The white test is unfortunate. The stop talk is decent, but he takes the shot for it.
Yeah, that's rough. That's rough. Really good game, and very frustrating to get away so clean with a hardtail early on and still lose.
Yeah. I wonder what he got caught on for that highlight.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
I really do wonder what that was.
Well, let me take a look again real quick. I think it might have been, it was shortly after the Amba had left the conversation. I think maybe he was just worried that he bugged.
Maybe.
Possible.
Maybe.
Tough loss. Well played in the beginning.
Monaters able to get himself that set he lost. Well, get himself back that 1 set lead he had in the balcony.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
That's got to feel good for him. The National, I don't think he's probably feeling all that discouraged at this point.
No, he started bad and he came right back, and right now he's what you really want when you're a spy. You really want the sniper to be jumpy. That's what you want. That makes your job the easiest by far.
Hang on, I screwed up the scores here. I'm pretty sure we're tied. We're tied at 4, I think, right? Let me pull off casting mode for a moment here.
Yeah, there are. Yes. Yeah, they're equal.
Yeah. I'm silly. We're tied at 4, damn it.
That's okay. Yeah, the last 4 matches, they've had the exact same outcome. 2 civilians shot, 2 spies shot.
Yeah.
Good, that makes sense. Good.
All right. So, stepping to veranda here. Tied at 4. The National coming in on the spy roll. Let's see how he's able to play this one. In 3, 2, 1, playing it. And because there's no fingerprint, there's really no decisions to be made as far as missions are concerned.
Right, just what do you want to do? Might be rushing that book, we'll see. Well, can't now.
Yeah, I think he was planning on, but then Monaters.
It's not bad. Yeah, take the book in the first 5 seconds, see if he hangs out a little bit at one side, and if he doesn't, put it right back. No big deal.
It was a good play. It gave himself options without committing.
Yes,
which is
exactly.
It's a very, I'd say, underrated skill.
I agree. Kind of like the flirting when you're slow playing. You think, well, if I have to rush it later, maybe I can. You know, create the opportunities for yourself and then take what the sniper gives you within that.
Indeed.
They say success is when preparation meets opportunity. So just because you don't have the opportunity doesn't mean you don't prepare.
That was a good bounce.
Yeah, that was. And unfortunate, though, on Veranda, those don't always get seen.
Indeed. Those don't always get seen on any map.
That's true, and it really depends on the sniper a lot. Ooh, very suspicious. They're stopping dead right after.
Yeah, that looked like a flirt. That's unfortunate.
Well, or honestly, if that's me as a sniper, it's more like I think, oh, they're trying to avoid a collision. I get really suspicious about people who become the rock with the stream flowing around it when they stop dead in a busy area so that everyone goes around them to avoid the difficult pathing.
That's very true. He does pick up the highlight for some reason.
He had rejected a drink. He's probably marking people who could have green purloined for later.
Maybe.
We're seeing that. We see that sometimes.
There's the book cheese.
Oh,
it's
wow.
away clean, too.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah, he's hanging out here. He's looking at two people. I think it looked briefly because of the AMBA. It looked briefly like a third person at shelves, and he was just tunneling hard on Plaid and General there. Free hardtail. And way to go for the National, taking advantage of it. It can be, if you hesitate on that, you lose your chance, but he did not.
And then the beautiful green swap coming out and immediately pulling away. Holy mackerel! The National is playing this so brilliantly.
Yeah, there is one trick to that, though. Just because he wasn't seen at the statue, he was pretty much the only person over there. You can
There was one other person.
Yeah, blue dress, right?
Yep.
Who doesn't have a
highlight.
Right. So I understand that it's still a good move, but at the same time, if you're a good sniper, you let him take that.
Didn't catch the green. It was a low light who swapped it, though. Now, who does he think could have done it?
Ooh,
that's the question.
He left that statue quick. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a good move, but if you're one of only a couple people who could have done it, if the sniper is on the ball, you've just given them 8 low lights.
That's true.
That's the thing. It needs to be a situation where other people could have from that side. Because he was the.
Here come the low lights.
Yep.
That's 3.
That's not bad. I'll trade a swap for 3 low lights almost every time on Veranda.
Indeed. And a couple of highlights came out of that as well. I think as many highlights as low lights.
Oh, but he's got
a fantastic trade.
He's got to get moved. He needs to BB, and then he's going to be approaching statues for the third time, actually, we know. Late in the game, big risk.
Indeed. And the double agent doesn't cooperate.
Uh-oh. This is rough.
Highlight for statues. Here he goes, hoping to be able to get a inspect away without the sniper noticing. Might be able to do it considering what Monaters is looking at.
Doesn't matter. It's only going to be the 4th mission. He's got no way to do this unless he adds time.
Unless the double agent gets in conversation right now and he gives chase. This is going to be... How are we going to do this?
Given up on it.
It's going to be the time ad. It's going to be the green test.
Nope. He aborted. He left too soon.
That's a white. That's... God.
Yep.
That's brutal.
He had the green, but he was trying too hard to get away from the window too fast.
That's so brutal.
The mistake in that game is easy to pinpoint. The swap had gone off. He hung out, he was worried about the heat, so he tried to shed some heat. He chilled for like 20 to 30 seconds, didn't go inspect, didn't go BB, didn't go set up anything that he could do later, so that when the time came, he couldn't do them both. And he might have still gotten away with it, although they were watching the watch pretty closely there. But just leave a little quick on the green. Really rough.
Indeed.
Boy, some good stuff. Some really good individual elements, but just not put together.
Indeed. Monaters on the ball there. He really was.
Yeah, that too. I don't think he was baiting. I definitely think there were a couple mistakes there where he just left some big openings, but he came at the end.
Yeah, he left some very big openings. That's why people generally stay in the middle on this map, because you can shift side to side without giving up too much time on either end.
I agree, but if that's the case, you have to be able to be very patient, because then they're going to feel like they can't do anything and they're going to try to induce a shot. So I'm actually a big fan of the idea of hanging out on the one side, but just being mindful of people who come from that general area. Because you want them
true.
You want them to do something so that you can catch them. Otherwise, you
actually
let the clock run out, and that's very scary.
I actually got a win like that at one point. What I was doing was I was hanging out on one side for a couple of seconds, then I'd swing all the way over to the other side for a couple of seconds. I was watching this one guy at statue, and like those 2 statues in the back corner, he was at one. I'm like, all right, guy at a statue, that's fine. He hasn't been in any statues before. Note that, come over to the other side. I come back, he's at the other statue. I'm like, okay, that's suspicious. Maybe he's trying to delay a green swap. I'm going to highlight this man.
Yes.
Next time I come back, he's back at the first statue again, and it's swapped.
It's like, what?
And I'm like, that had to have been a green swap. No spy in his right mind's gonna do that. Now, who just came from over there?
Yeah, I agree. But that's an interesting thing is, you say you want to keep an eye on everything, and that's sort of true, but it's actually very hard to win a game where they don't feel comfortable doing anything, because you have once you get within 30 seconds, unless you're very confident that they haven't done anything, you're much more likely to take a jumpy shot, no matter who you are. So, in a way, what you really want is to make them think they're not being watched, so you can catch them and take a nice, easy shot.
Yeah.
And that's a good way to do it, is to leave that side open, and then kind of watch who comes from there and check after.
Yeah. I am probably a very weird person in that if I don't have a reason to shoot, I'm not going to shoot, damn it. I've seen so many people in my casting make these panic shots that I refuse to freaking do it.
Yeah, it depends
So,
on who you're playing because certain players will almost never time out, so you really do need to shoot. But on the
yeah,
other hand, most shots taken, especially at mid levels and things like that, most shots you get way more people who shoot mistakenly and too aggressively than you do people who wait too long and lose to mission wins. That's
yeah,
much rarer still. So
yeah.
as a general principle, I agree with you.
Yeah, you see, my big problem is when the timer's about 5 seconds, I decide who I'm going to shoot when overtime happens, and I accidentally stop looking at everything else.
Yeah, it's tricky. But that is a good habit. I tell people a lot, if you do need to pick someone when you get low on time. You need to pick someone who a preliminary suspect who you're going to shoot if it goes into OT, and then only change your mind if you see something after that. But you need to have someone in mind. If OT hits and you're just flailing around shooting wildly, you've made a mistake.
Yeah.
You might not have a good choice, but you should have a choice.
Absolutely. Stepping into the second veranda game, Monaters up by 1 on the spy roll with National on the sniper in 3, 2, 1, play.
Ooh, 180 on the take control. Decides, no, I don't want to go to that side of the map at all.
It actually looked very good, though.
Looked okay, yeah, although I was looking right at it and I was a little more suspicious, but you're not going to get caught for that very often early in the game.
I think if you pull the 180 on the third bounce, that's fine.
Ooh, rough. Green seduced, but just not standing close enough, and an unforced error because there was no reason not to sidle up there. You're already close enough that it look like you're right next to them. There was no one to block him. He had all the time in the world to go in there. Just did not stand close enough, and that's a shame.
Indeed.
Decides he wants nothing to do with that bug opportunity.
Yeah, like, see you later, Ambassador.
Ooh, he'd gotten away. He'd gotten away with that book clean, does not realize it, and puts it back in the same shelf, but I think he could have put that in green with no suspicion.
I think so too, which is very unfortunate. Might be able to pull a bug across here. He's definitely in position for it if he sends to the bookcase. Goes for the time ad, but aborts it.
Yep, they've both done that now. Each
Yeah, they
player's done
have.
that once. I understand the desire to get away from windows quick, but honestly, again, depending on who it is, when someone leaves windows very quickly, that makes me more suspicious than anything else. That's more likely to catch my eye than an innocuous watch check. Especially because it beeps when you abort it, by the way.
It does.
Yeah, and you'll notice, by the way, it was at 2:55, so that's a beep within 5 seconds of an earlier beep for the minute mark, which is the worst way to do it. If the beeps are close together, that's when they get suspicious. Then they go, wait a second, why would that happen?
Yeah.
Only a couple reasons.
I think literally the only reasons are red watch check or aborted watch check.
Yeah, or a watch check, or you literally add 45 seconds when you say and it bumps you back up above a minute mark. For example, you have 2:16, you add 45 seconds to go to 3:01, so it beeps and then it beeps again, or something like that. Or I should say rather, it beeps close to the other beep. If you get them within 10 seconds of each other, it's too noticeable. So people like to add time around the middle so that it jumps them up to like 2:30 or 3:30 or something.
That doesn't make any sense though, because even if you do a time ad to bump it up to 3:01,
right? Yeah.
Then that's only a problem if it was a red test, because if not, it was still 45 seconds between beeps.
You're right. Sorry. What I mean to say is that you don't want to be.
Oh
boy.
That's not a okay, rough. Yeah.
You can't play that off as a briefcase. Yeah, what I mean to say is you don't want a beep to be happening close to your time ad no matter what else is happening. You don't want a beep around there. So a lot of people like to add time when it'll jump them up 30 seconds above a minute mark because the beep makes them think about time, and that's a problem.
That's true. That's something I hadn't considered.
It doesn't come up very often,
there.
Yeah.
But he's been slow playing this so hard, and he's still gotten the highlight.
Ooh, red.
That was a red flirt. That's brutal.
And because of the decision earlier not to stand close enough, he wasn't going to be able to finish there anyway with the flirt, but it would have been nice.
The manual transfer, there's no time for that.
That is his third visit to the red shelf, and he's finally got the microfilm. You say he's slow playing, and that's true, but for a guy who's slow playing, he is all over the place. He is moving around a lot.
That's very true.
You do not see that.
Just like, I can't tell if it's just bad luck, not deciding what he's doing early enough, or a combination of the two.
Yeah.
There's the bug coming off.
Nice.
It was very exposed, but in a position where you wouldn't expect it to happen.
And the sniper was moving left at the time. It's a good choice under the circumstances.
The green watch check coming out. There's the big time dilation. He's gonna know that's a green check.
Yeah, but he doesn't think he could have been the one to do it.
No, that was a miss-neutral light. He totally thinks it could have been the one.
I guess
this
so.
could be a shot right here on the banana split.
It was a good banana split, though. I really like that under the circumstances. There was He doesn't know this, but he has very few lowlights here. A lot of the party is still alive.
That's very true.
Not that many.
Very true.
Normal number of highlights, but very few lowlights. So he's got a lot to be watching. So that's why I think he's away with that.
Oh man! The only reason he's alive right now is because he's the danger model.
Oh my goodness!
Only
I know.
reason.
Oh, and he's got 10 seconds here, and it looks like a pending, and he needs 2% on the flirt. Oh.
Oh, and that bounce though. He's still alive.
Oh god.
He's still alive. Oh god, he can't get in.
Oh wow.
Oh god, he just barely got in, but the time runs out on him.
I think that was winnable. I think if that gone into overtime,
too.
I think if you do a quick flirt in a full conversation and you stop talk immediately and it goes into OT, there's an excellent chance you don't get shot. Excellent.
I completely agree. If it goes to OT on a flirt and it's been at 0-0, I think you're pretty much safe.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he was definitely he's one of several suspects, but look at the conversation at the end. He had 3 other highlights he would be standing right next to in the same conversation. That's incredible. That was a perfect. All his suspects were pretty much piled into one conversation except for Brown Dress. And boy, I don't know. I don't care how bad you got to squeeze yourself in there. You got to do it. You got to do it. Oh, so close. Almost pulled that one out of nowhere.
Man, that was what a game that was. Holy mackerel.
Yeah, that's heartbreaking though.
It is. But we're tied at 5. Stepping into the 4 games on balcony.
Yeah, but if you're Monaters at this point, you're thinking you feel unlucky to be tied. You feel like you've played a couple games, you gave away a couple of sniper, you had some really close ones as spy. I think Monaters has played a little better to this point, and he's probably at this point a little frustrated that he doesn't have the lead.
I think so. I think so as well. Let's see what he can do as he steps into this sniper role on the balcony here once again. In 3, 2, 1, play.
Not to take anything away from the National, he's played very well, but
they both have.
Yeah, they were. There have been a lot of games that were just sort of, the hard part was done, and then they lost anyway. So
there's been a lot of fantastic play and a lot of questionable play,
which makes for very exciting casting. Both big mistakes
and very much does,
and big successes. Those are what you want to see. Yeah.
That's the kind of thing that makes for amazing clutch victories and heartbreaking losses.
Yep, just high drama. And really nice patience there on that flirt. Paid off really well. Really good position early on. And no, not a suspect at all. As we established, Monaters, can be very aggressive with the highlights and lowlights on balcony based on early patterns. And the National apparently taking that to heart by waiting and not even getting a highlight for his first flirt.
And being patient with that flirt is very hard to do, especially with the new flirt mechanics.
Yeah, it really is. You really want to get that. It's very tempting and very hard not to get that early flirt in so that the timer can start very quickly.
Indeed.
A questionable path, but really just highlight for going to the windows. I know Monaters in particular definitely is on the ball with the window flirt, but it also means he'll highlight people who just could have done it.
Indeed. There's the 99% flirt on the green test there. That really wasn't his fault. And seduction target, this movement is fantastic. You just want to stay in conversation, wait for her to re-enter, and then pick up that last flirt.
Yeah, hopefully. But, that can be risky late in the game. Here we go.
There was nothing he could have done to pick up that 100% there without getting shot immediately. But the timer's not done on the flirt yet. She was moving a bit, so it should be off soon.
Yeah, we can't see it on the replay, but he's got to beat
Here's
first
the banana
anyway.
bread. 10 seconds. It's going to be overtime. There's the cooldown. And he's still talking. There's a double talk for the flirt.
Oh, jeez.
This is going to be a shot. I'm pretty sure. Here comes the dance. Oh! No. He doesn't get shot.
Yep.
He doesn't know. The National with a big win there. I didn't think he was going to get that.
Really nice. It's risky to do the stop talk, but it really is death to be talking when it goes into overtime on balcony. They're going to shoot. That's what I would do most of the time.
Yeah.
You really can't afford to be as suspicious as it is to stop talk and leave. It's probably better than the alternative, which is be doing the talking animation, getting that last flirt in during overtime. Oh boy, and a pretty long overtime too, by the way. So
It was. It was
I
a
think
long one.
Blue got shot because she was in conversation and she was already a highlight. That's all it took.
These have been some awesome games.
Yeah. Although once again he's sitting there thinking, boy, I can't believe the Nationals probably thinking I can't believe that got so close. I had the early 51%. I just missed the flirt. Brutal.
Yeah.
But it worked out fine.
But again, with the positioning of the party, there was nothing he could have done to get that second 49.
Yeah. It's just a little unfortunate. He would have had to play everything very differently from the beginning to avoid that.
Stepping into the next one here, Monaters on the Spy, the National on the Sniper in 3, 2, 1, playing it. God, how cool is Spectation gonna be? Oh, the early window flirt!
Oh boy,
that is massive!
Yeah.
Oh God, and then gets stuck on Damon.
Yeah, almost gives it away. By the way, I like his positioning there. He picked the bigger opening because there's a better chance that your seduction target will follow you there. He didn't, but that's a good move. So again,
I agree.
Remember, preparation meets opportunity. Create the circumstance under which that might happen, and sometimes it will. And when it does, by the way, you're virtually done flirting already.
Yeah, that's true. But even though the position's not great, that's just a really short timer. It'll pick up the green there for 66%, and now if he picks up a close white, that's it for the flirt.
Oh, can it go as high as 30? Is 34 is where it top out? I couldn't remember if it was 32.
34. 34 is the close
so
white.
That's crucial then. Yeah, I always think it's 32 for some reason. It always pops in my head.
Seduction target on the briefcase.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, that's good conversation positioning too. That's fantastic conversation positioning.
Yeah.
The most likely spot is right next to us. Now the only spot is right next to us.
Yep,
that could not have lined up better.
Green BB is done. All he needs is the flirt now.
That's a Monaters win. There's no way it's not.
Yeah, excellent. It's really hard to shoot with 40 seconds left there when nothing particularly suspicious has happened.
Oh my goodness.
Excellent.
Wow. Just wow.
Wow.
That,
really nice.
Like, I want to call that a party win, but he took every opportunity that game gave him.
He maximized his chances. Yeah, you want to create an inviting environment for the party to come to you if it's going to, and he did. Obviously, the window flirt, big luck there, but at the same time, picked a good position. You know, left it open so that the section target could come in late, and he hit the green, and that's plenty. Great win.
Indeed. Yeah, I think he hit every green except that first window flirt.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. It was definitely fortunate though that he was not standing all the way across on that second one, because if he'd lost even a % there, the whole game is different, and he needs the final green.
Yeah. We've got 4 minutes for 2 balcony games.
That sounds about right.
Yep. Let's do it. Starting things out, the National on the Spy, Monaters on the Sniper, in 3, 2, 1, playing it. And as of right now, we're tied at 6.
Oh boy. Yeah, and it should be. I mean, I definitely indicated earlier that I thought Monaters had some bad luck, but the National had a couple really good games and a couple that he could have won too, especially the one on Veranda. So they have both played pretty close to even. I think the Monaters' losses have been a little more frustrating, but in terms of total skill, you know, oh boy, bad pathing there. Early.
Yeah, that was just a rough bounce.
And now what are you gonna do?
Yeah, no kidding. That was wow.
Wow, he clearly made up his mind just completely.
Yeah.
I think you can wait a little bit there for confirmation, but boy, he was convinced.
Mm-hmm.
Aggressive shot, but once again, you know, he's been really aggressive in 2 of these games, and it worked out both times on balcony.
Honestly, I feel like that was, you know what, I'm going to be tunneling this entire game, and if it's not him, I've lost anyway, so let's make some waves.
Yeah, I mean, there is a mild benefit to taking aggressive shots to kind of maybe freak them out, rattle them a little bit. That's really the only serious argument for it, I think, is that you want to rattle your opponent. Also,
if it's a miss, they feel like they didn't really earn the win either.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Absolutely.
So, I guess when you're tunneling anyways, you may as well. Can't really be said for the bigger maps, but on balcony, yeah. Let's step into the final game of the night with Monaters on the Spy, the National on the Sniper, in 3, 2, 1, playing.
Chance to pull away a little bit here. He did swap in balcony, so you know this is where he's supposed to be making up ground or gaining ground or pulling away or whatever the analogy is.
I'm liking the early AI control.
Yeah, I think
Do you think
a
he's
little
gonna just
aggressive.
slow play this?
It'd be tempting, wouldn't it? Oh, there he goes.
Ooh, man, doesn't even need to at that point. The AI
Wow.
worked him so perfectly. He picks up that early low light,
Yeah,
and
and you know
that's
what?
just incredibly fortunate.
I've
So
had
is that.
I've had people say this. They say, "Oh, I did something really AI-like in the about 10 seconds in. Why didn't you low-light me?" And I say, "I don't low-light anyone in the first 15 to 20 seconds because
Yeah.
you might not have taken control yet. There's not much downside to giving up that much time. So definitely a big risk by the National to low-light someone about 15 seconds in on balcony.
Indeed. But the path in was fantastic as well.
It
Almost no
was.
one will wait quite
Yeah.
that long.
It's about the limit, I would say, of what most people will do unless they're slow playing, is about 20 seconds. But if you're within that, you have two decisions. One, was that definitely AI? Two, am I sure they've taken control? And being right about both questions is very tough. Oh boy.
And this is just a win for Monaters, straight up.
Yeah, and it's an interesting question is whether or not he suspected he was low lit. He might have, waited to take control for that very reason. He might have known, but he was aggressive earlier with the bugs too. So
Yeah.
I think it's just something he likes to do. So great win, won the last two, and in very impressive fashion too.
Indeed, finishes up 8-6.
And I encourage
Man,
everyone to watch.
that was a fantastic set.
It was, and the rest are good too. I encourage everyone to go onto the forums if you're a member and keep watching because I'll just say it continues being a close, exciting set.
You know what?
Yes.
I'm really tempted to cast the last part of this on Tuesday with you.
Do the second half.
Yeah, and then just get a few more games to cast when we inevitably run out of matches.
I think that's a great idea. We could do part one.
Let's frickin' do it.
Let's do it.
All right. So I guess that means it's time for the housekeeping at the end.
Keeping whatever. I mean, sometimes it's one, sometimes the other. Yeah.
I cast
Okay.
Spy Party here at 9:00 p.m. Eastern every week on Friday and on Tuesday. Generally, Tuesdays are with Warning Track, but internet happened, so we had to move it to Friday this week. Also, I cast on Sundays at twitch.tv/spyparty. With Crazy Kaylee, we cast ladder sets from the week, so that's a ton of fun. I highly suggest coming out to that. We usually go for about 3 hours.
You're a madman.
I know! I get so tired on Mondays! Anyways, you are in the Pro-Am tournament.
I am. Probably playing Tuesday afternoon-ish, maybe? I don't know if there's going to be a whole lot to watch. I know at least one person will be streaming. I'm sure Chex will be, if nothing else. It's only going to be 8 games because it's a very short round-robin tournament. But there's so many cool people involved, and it's such a cool, fun idea, and I really want to see how it comes out. So hopefully it'll be entertaining.
Should be a blast. I'll try to keep you guys updated on Twitter at ToboTV. So I am going to go watch SGDQ now. I think they're about to start the Mario Sunshine races.
And say goodbye to the hair, everybody, because I guess the next
time we
see ya.
Hair's coming off.
I will definitely be checking for that on Sunday.
Oh wow!
You'll be 5 pounds lighter the next time we see you.
Indeed. Thanks a ton to everyone who came out to watch. It's always a blast having you guys out here. And I guess that's it. So until next time, this is Taboshi and Warning Track. Signing off.